Amish. The Amish are one of the strictest Anabaptist offshoots, emerging in 1693 when Jacob Amann led a conservative split from the Swiss Mennonites in the Alsace region in Switzerland. Their emphasis on separation from the world, strict discipline, and traditional simplicity set them apart from other Anabaptist groups. Facing persecution in Europe, many Amish migrated to Pennsylvania in the early 1700s, later spreading to Ohio, Indiana, and other U.S. states, as well as Ontario. Today, their population exceeds 380,000 and doubles roughly every 20 years. Due to large families and high retention rates, Amish communities follow the Ordnung, a strict rulebook governing dress, technology, transportation, and social conduct. They reject grid electricity, automobiles, and most modern conveniences, relying on horse and buggy transport and traditional farming. Their lifestyle reflects a deliberate attempt to preserve humility, obedience, and communal cohesion in contrast to modern society. 12 Tribes. The 12 Tribes is a strict separatist religious movement founded in 1972 by Elbert Yonik Spriggs in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Emerging from the Jesus movement but rejecting mainstream denominations, the group built its own theology centered on community purity, discipline, and a return to a biblical, tribal style of life. Members live communally, share all property, wear distinctive modest clothing, and educate their children entirely within the community. The 12 Tribes now number an estimated 2,500 to 3,000 people, with communities in the United States, Canada, Europe, South America, and Australia. Migration and expansion are central to their identity, as they frequently establish new rural settlements and urban outreach centers. Their lifestyle emphasizes obedience, structured hierarchy, and complete separation from modern culture. These strict expectations make the 12 Tribes one of the most tightly regulated and controversial intentional communities operating today. Haredi. Haredi, or ultra-Orthodox, Jews form one of the world's most strictly observant Jewish communities, originating in the 18th to 19th century Eastern Europe, especially in regions like Poland, Lithuania, Hungary, and Ukraine. They emerged in response to modernizing pressures and the Jewish Enlightenment, choosing separation, traditionalism, and strict religious discipline instead of assimilation. After the Holocaust, major Haredi populations migrated to the United States, especially New York, and Israel, with additional communities in the UK, Belgium, and Canada. Today, the global Haredi population is estimated at 2 to 2.5 million and growing rapidly due to high birth rates and strong community retention. Haredi life centers on modest dress, extensive Torah study, limited interaction with secular culture, and tightly knit neighborhoods that regulate education, technology use, and social norms. The resistance to modern media, secular schooling, and outside influence places them among the most structured and socially separate communities in the modern world. Old Believers. The Old Believers are traditionalist Russian Orthodox Christians who broke away in the mid-1600s after rejecting liturgical reforms introduced by Patriarch Nikon. Viewing the changes as a betrayal of true orthodoxy, they chose strict adherence to pre-reform rituals, including traditional prayer forms, church music, and dress. Persecuted by the Russian state and church, many Old Believers fled into remote regions of Siberia, the Russian Far East, and the Arctic, while others migrated to Romania, Poland, Alaska, and later South America today. Their global population is estimated at 1 to 2 million, though communities vary widely in strictness. Some Old Believer groups maintain extreme separation, avoiding electricity, photography, and contact with outsiders, while others live modern lives but preserve old liturgical traditions. Despite internal diversity, Old Believers share a deep commitment to preserving unchanged Russian Orthodoxy and maintaining religious purity through cultural isolation and highly regulated community norms. Hutterites. The Hutterites are a communal Anabaptist group that originated in the 1520s to 1530s during the Radical Reformation in Moravia, today's Czech Republic. Led by Jacob Hutter, from whom they take their name, they embraced complete community of goods, strict discipline, and a pacifist interpretation of Christianity. Persistent persecution pushed them into long migrations across Central Europe, eventually leading many to resettle in Russia in the 1700s and later migrate again to North America in the 1870s. Today, the Hutterite population is around 50,000 to 60,000, living primarily in Alberta, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Montana, and the Dakotas. Hutterites are known for their full communal lifestyle, in which all property, income, and labor are shared. Colonies function as self-contained agricultural communities with structured leadership and strict social rules. Although they use advanced farming technology, their social separation, modest dress, and regulated communal routines make them one of the most disciplined Anabaptist societies. Bruderhof. The Bruderhof is a Christian communal movement founded in 1920 in Germany by Eberhard Arnold, inspired by Anabaptist traditions and the early Christian church described in the book of Acts. From the beginning, the group embraced full community of goods, pacifism, simple dress, and strict communal discipline. Persecution under the Nazis forced them to flee Germany in the 1930s, leading to migrations through Liechtenstein, England, Paraguay, and eventually to permanent settlements in the United States. Today, the Bruderhof has an estimated 3,000 members living in communities across the US, UK, Germany, Australia, and Paraguay. All property and income are shared, families live in community houses, and members often work in communal businesses. Technology is used collectively, but regulated to maintain humility and community focus. The Bruderhof maintains strict rules about lifestyle, modesty, obedience, and internal accountability, making them one of the most organized communal societies in the modern world. Doukhobors. The Doukhobors are a pacifist spiritual Christian movement that emerged in the 18th century Russia, rejecting the authority of the Orthodox Church, clerical hierarchy, and elaborate rituals in favor of an inner light approach to faith. Their beliefs, especially absolute pacifism and refusal to swear allegiance to the Russian state, led to persecution. In the late 1800s, with help from Leo Tolstoy and Quaker supporters, more than 7,500 Doukhobors migrated to Canada, settling in Saskatchewan and later British Columbia. Today, their combined population is estimated at 20,000 to 30,000, though only a portion remain actively religious. Doukhobor life traditionally emphasized communal living, simple dress, vegetarianism, and the rejection of violence, military service, and government interference. Some subgroups, like the historic community Doukhobors, practice full communal ownership, while others adopted individual farming. Though less separatist than Amish-like groups, Doukhobors maintain a distinctive identity rooted in peace, simplicity, and resistance to external authority. Mennonites. The Mennonites are an Anabaptist Christian tradition that began in the 1500s in the Netherlands and northern Germany, shaped by the teachings of Menno Simons. Emerging during the Radical Reformation, they emphasized adult baptism, nonviolence, simplicity, and separation from state influence. Due to persecution across Europe, many Mennonites migrated during the 1600s to 1800s to Prussia, Russia, and eventually North America, where large communities developed in Pennsylvania, the Midwest, Canada, and later Mexico, Belize, Bolivia, and Paraguay. Today, global Mennonite membership is estimated at 2.1 million, though only a fraction belong to the more traditional Old Order groups. Old Order Mennonites maintain plain dress, horse and buggy travel, and limited technology, closely resembling the Amish while remaining slightly more flexible. More moderate Mennonite branches use modern technology, but still emphasize modest living and strong community values. Across all variations, their disciplined simplicity and historical migrations make them one of the most influential Anabaptist traditions. The Farm. The Farm is one of the most influential counterculture communes in modern American history, founded in 1971 in Tennessee by Stephen Gaskin and a group of followers from the San Francisco hippie scene seeking an alternative to consumerism, war, and mainstream religion. They migrated cross-country in a caravan of buses before purchasing land near Summertown, Tennessee, where they established a communal, spiritually oriented settlement. At its peak, in the 1970s and early 1980s, the farm had 1,200 residents living under strict rules that included vegetarianism, shared income, simple living, and collective decision-making. The community went through financial restructuring in the 1980s, shifting from full communalism to a cooperative model, but it still exists today with 200 to 250 members. While technologically modern, the farm maintains strong expectations about sustainability, pacifism, natural childbirth, and social responsibility, making it a disciplined and enduring example of intentional communal living.